Tana Mongeau speaks out against James Charles. James Charles is facing another scandal after a man posted screenshots of their conversation on TikTok. The man, David Stoughton, alleged that James made advances toward him and sent inappropriate photos without consent after David declined to send selfies. David shared that James started following him on TikTok and then sent him a direct message asking for an age check. After confirming he was over 18, they continued their conversation on Instagram. David later shared screenshots of their exchanges. James sent David texts in vanishing mode, offering him a lucrative role as his boyfriend. He included a list of requirements such as an interest in horror movies and escape rooms, a willingness to cuddle, and occasional FaceTime calls. Although James stated that the role wouldn't come with a salary, he listed several benefits, including free housing in a $10 million house in LA, exciting trips, and a cute boyfriend. Another screenshot was shared showing a conversation between James and David, implying James's jealousy over a girl David followed on Instagram. In the chat, James referred to the girl as his competition. Then, James sent more texts about his experiences in bed and the number of partners he had. Shortly after, David said that he refused to send selfies or FaceTime with James. James then sent him 2 video messages explaining that he only wanted FaceTime to avoid misunderstandings of facial expressions, saying, "You only get to actually experience these through a FaceTime call or through being in person. Even over the phone, you still miss out on things because you're missing somebody's facial expressions, right? So because you refuse to hang out with people or because you refuse to FaceTime, you're not allowing people to actually get to know you as a human being. And that's a massive problem whenever it comes to being in a relationship with somebody." Fans believe that if this had happened to someone else, people would have felt sympathy for the exposure of these messages. However, due to James' past controversies, people are not inclined to feel sorry for him, especially since he admitted in a video message that the man was straight and he knew it. This behavior has upset many who have accused James of repeatedly flirting with straight men and making them feel uncomfortable. In a video he sent to David, James said, "So obviously being that you are straight, I would assume that you don't know a lot about the gay community." This has been a non-stop topic of discussion for years, with James claiming that people often lie to him about their interests and ages and change their minds. The issue fans have with James is that they feel he puts himself in these situations and then seeks sympathy. But people have grown tired of this pattern and feel like he hasn't learned from past mistakes. Fans have repeatedly advised James not to send direct messages to people on his main account. He should stop looking for people or potential boyfriends on social media, as they may try to take advantage of his large following. Despite his past promises to be more cautious, the recent controversy has led people to believe that James is still not being careful and has not learned from his past mistakes. Fans started calling him desperate and pathetic for forcing himself on men who clearly were not interested in him. In April 2021, James was also exposed for exchanging inappropriate messages and indecent images with underage boys. He admitted in his apology video that he flirted with these boys, thinking that they were over 18. According to James, these boys had lied to him about their ages, saying, "I trusted the information that was given to me rather than the information I could have and should have gotten myself." In both of these situations, doing research into these people's public social media profiles would have revealed their true ages, and therefore these conversations would have never happened in the first place. But I didn't do the research, and that is what is so embarrassing. He also added that it was only then that he realized that he would not always find good guys online. "I was allowing myself to be so easily accessible to literally anybody who wanted to give me attention because I was so delusional in thinking that the conversation can't hurt. But at the same time, I wasn't realizing that that also increases my chances of finding somebody not great that doesn't want to talk to me for the right reasons and then might lie or take advantage of me. And that's nobody's fault other than my own." James made it clear that he didn't want anyone to use him for clout, and with his past experiences, fans thought that he should have learned by now to be more careful when dealing with people on social media. However, it looked like he had forgotten what it felt like to be humiliated on social media. The alleged messages James sent sounded like he was selling himself to David. He was talking about the requirements and benefits of being his boyfriend. He was also putting himself out there to be easily targeted by clout chasers or creeps. Many found it confusing that James sent a video knowing that David is straight. Was James thinking that he could change David just because he was with him? This behavior is never okay, and this was what happened before. James, in his YouTube video in 2021, acknowledged his past mistakes and promised himself never to be in the same situation again. Once again, I recognize that this is my own fault. I wish more than anything I could go back in time and stop myself from making all these jokes about straight guys years ago. And talking about dating and how I was single and how I wanted a boyfriend so badly. Like, I wish more than anything that I had kept that private. Unfortunately, at this point, there's nothing that I can do about that other than just be better moving forward. Meanwhile, there are fans who believe that James was not at fault this time. Despite his questionable reputation, he was just flirting with David, as any normal person would. Fans added that if David was truly straight, he should have stopped exchanging messages with James right away. One person tweeted, writing, "Okay, so here's the thing. James has been predatory to young people in the past, but this is not an example of him doing something wrong. This man was going back and forth with James, taking pictures of secret conversations, knowing he was going to expose this." Another person commented saying, "But the guy literally went along with him? It's like he kept talking to him just to screenshot it and post it to gain views. Because if you were straight and doesn't want James Charles to flirt with you, you'd tell him to stop or ghost him or something." One person pointed out that David's intention for posting private messages was for fame, saying, "This is just exposing someone's private messages for clout. He didn't do anything wrong in this instance. It's cringy, but it's a private matter and it was clearly reciprocated." Now that his recent controversy has gone viral, people cannot help but talk about it, including Tana Mongeau. Tana took to Twitter and threw shade at James, tweeting that she had a new lock screen, which is an image of the leaked screenshots James sent to David. Tana and James used to be close friends, but in recent years, Tana has distanced herself from James. She's been clear that she doesn't support him anymore. Sometimes fans would see Tana talking to people that she has dissed before, but never with James. In an interview, Tana expressed her opinion about James, saying, "It's like such an abuse of power, which I think is such a thing. Your power dynamic is to like your young fans and to like to manipulate people. It's weird that we were just friends for so long. He would hide so much like that from me and just do that so much. In my opinion, I don't want to get sued, and that in my opinion wasn't ethical or right." Tana has distanced herself from James for years and continues to publicly criticize him. Despite James becoming close with many of Tana's friends, she has not changed her opinion about him. During the recent controversy, Tana seized the opportunity to publicly mock James on a podcast with Jeff. She was thrilled to share the screenshots of James' messages with David. It was her biggest chance to slam James on social media. "This one brings me so much joy and it's so funny." Tana found this hilarious as she read comments about the leaked messages from James. She criticized him and somehow gave him advice, saying, "Obviously, like, it's wrong, but I'm not sitting here trying to actually come down on the logistics of it. It's more like if you're going to do this, like, be less embarrassing." Tana also pointed out that David must have shown interest for James to reply so much, but she still found the situation funny and embarrassing. Fans also commented that David must have been flirting back with James, but the fact that he claimed to be straight should have been a clear sign for James to back off. But apparently, James liked the attention he was getting from David. He seemed not to mind the fact that David could be using him for fame or to go viral. In short, James totally forgot everything he said in his apology video. James should rewatch his whole YouTube video from the past year and do exactly what he promised himself. Even Jeff, in his interview with Tana, criticized him for not learning from his past mistakes and for doing the same humiliating things again and again. He found it also ridiculous that James loved to put himself in hot water and was never afraid to be cancelled again. Jeff also admitted that he unfollowed James because of all the news about him and because of his feud with Tana. It looks like Tana is still not interested in ending her feud with James. She's enjoying so much watching from the sidelines the criticism James is facing right now. What do you think of all this mess that James is involved in now? Do you think people will continue to support him despite his numerous controversies? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Stay tuned for more interesting videos. Are you not entertained? If you are, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.